Long ago, there was a sake that was often enjoyed at flower viewing parties. That sake greatly appealed to many people, and a reflection of the rows of cherry blossoms could be seen in the cups of sake that were passed around. That sake came to be known as Hanagaki. The company that brews Hanagaki,南部酒造場, is situated in Ono City in the eastern part of Fukui. It is also referred to as Echizen Ono and is still decorated with the vibrant colors typical of old castle towns and is known as the Little Kyoto of Hokuriku area. The Hanagaki Brewery building sits on a street called Shichikendori and has been designated as a tangible cultural asset, together with the Shichiken Morning Market that has been active for 400 years. It represents the traditional culture of this area. Water brews up actively in front of the brewery. The clean water that springs up all over the town has been officially designated as a famous source of great water. Hanagaki sake is brewed using this well water drawn up from the depths of 50 meters. Water supplied by the wide range of mountains that extend from the holy sacred mountain Hakusan, water that makes soft and delicate sake, water that has long soaked underground, drawing out the power of the earth from which it gushes forth. Echizen Ono is famous for its rice and is also one of the largest producers of sake rice, called Gohyakuman Goku. Great water, cold mornings and evenings, fertile soil, and hands-on cultivation methods all lead to outstanding sake rice. Hanagaki is truly blessed by its natural surroundings. The rice we use at Hanagaki is grown naturally through cooperation with local producers. Our brewery is one of the few in the country to have achieved this special certification as a result of our passion for making sake you can trust to be safe. Water, rice, people. Through the bitter cold from fall to spring, the master brewer, or toji, and his staff of brewers, known as kurabito, all eat, sleep, and work hard together in the brewery. Nihonshu is made using koji, which is rice with a special mold carefully cultivated upon it and an important part of Japan's traditional cuisine. Nihonshu is unique in that it is brewed using a method known as multiple parallel fermentation, which gives it its rich flavor, enhancing alcohol content. At Hanagaki, we use only high-quality sake rice, locally grown Gohyakuman Goku, and Yamada Nishiki, a sake rice that is a special product of Hyogo Prefecture, where it was originally created. The outer part of the grains, which can lead to rough flavors if allowed to be a part of the production process, is milled away. By milling between 40 and 70% of the outside of each grain away, we create those delicate flavors of Hanagaki. The surface of the rice is washed and polished using plenty of water. Washing rice is also referred to as the second milling, since washing the rice like this also removes a bit more of the outside of the grains. Using just the right amount of water, the rice is soaked for a specific amount of time, measured down to the second. In this step of the process, we can see just how seriously the brewers treat the rice. If we do not understand completely the nature of each year's rice, we cannot create the special qualities of Hanagaki sake that best match that rice. This is the most challenging thing. Rice for eating is boiled. Rice for sake brewing is steamed. The rice is carefully steamed in such a way that the outer surface is dry and firm, but the inside is soft. The person in charge of this step is called the kamaya, and he peers deeply into the steaming vat, known as a koshiki, as hot steam billows out in order to check it and ensure ideal steaming conditions. First in importance comes the koji, then comes the yeast starter, third comes the fermentation. Koji making is the one step of the sake brewing process that affects the flavor the most. After the rice has been steamed, the kurabito mix it and cool it down to just the right temperature with their bare hands. Spores of koji mold, called moyashi for their resemblance to bean sprouts, are slowly sprinkled on the rice. The mold spores grow from the dry outside surface of the steamed rice and work their way in towards the moist center. The mold is carefully cultivated for 2 days and 2 nights, much like a loving parent treats a child. When it comes to koji making, even if it is not done with great physical dexterity, I think that if it is performed carefully and with the right intention, then both humans and microorganisms will respond in a good way. I believe if you do that continuously, you can create something good. The first stage of making sake is creating a yeast starter from the moto, which means the mother of sake. We use traditional tools and methods from the Edo era hundreds of years ago. The kurabito, known as motoya, repeatedly mixes the yeast starter with a warming and cooling implement known as daki. It takes 2 weeks to prepare it using the normal method and a month to prepare it using the more traditional kimoto method. The techniques perfected through effort and time are brought into play here. The size of the fermenting mash is gradually increased in 3 more stages. The moromi is created adding koji, steamed rice, and water at each stage. As it ferments, we can hear it bubbling. Koji converts starch to sugar, the yeast converts the sugar to alcohol and carbon dioxide. The two of these take place here simultaneously in what is known as multiple parallel fermentation. The delicate balance between these two processes must be carefully maintained and handled as carefully as one's own child. The size of each batch is no larger than we can watch and allow to ferment carefully. The mash is led through a 3 to 5 week period, eventually yielding sake. Today is the day the sake is ready. The voice of the toji echoes throughout the brewery. Sake drips out of bags filled with fermenting mash, and the smiling face of the toji, as he tastes it, tells us the Hanagaki sake is complete. When sake is drip pressed like this, each drop has its own character. It's impressive, to say the least. The completed sake is then laid down to rest until mature, like a bud waiting for its time to open into a flower. We want to continue to make authentic and delicious sake while continuing to use traditional brewing methods and conveying sake culture. We do not use machines to make sake, but rather people brew our sake. That's why we diligently strive to put attention into detail and put feeling into it as well. Hanagaki, we will continue to make sake that lets our customers smile at how great it tastes and that relax and reverberates in the heart. Hanagaki was born about a century ago in Echizen Ono. We have always brewed sake at Hanagaki with respect for the process, never taking anything for granted, and we will continue to do so. We aim for sake that reverberates in the heart in any era. This is what Hanagaki is all about.